Welcome to the webinar series of 21st Century Teachers with the theme Teaching in the New Normal. The goal of this series is to make teachers adapt and become relevant under the new normal. We would like to remind everyone on the following. A certificate of participation will only be given to those who will stay through the entire session and completely answer the evaluation assessment afterwards. A second certificate of completion, will only be given to those who will join us for the entire series. Thank you. Before we begin today's webinar, let us give respect to the singing of the Philippine National Anthem, followed by a short prayer.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Let us put ourselves in the holy presence of God. Father in heaven, always merciful and giver of life, we humbly ask that you bless each one of us, from the speakers, program committees, guests, and participants. Guide us to make better decisions as we incorporate what we will learn throughout this activity. Thank you for the infinite blessings and countless opportunities. Lord, today as we start our activity, may we always be grateful to learn new things. Shed the light of your wisdom and bless each one, especially our speakers, as they will share their knowledge to us. Through your mercy and grace, may peace and utmost understanding shine and dwell unto us. Almighty God, accompany each one and help us concentrate for us to gain more knowledge as we listen attentively. This we ask in your name. Amen.
Now, for the actual learning, let us welcome Dr. Sheila Grace E. Nollen, Administrator of AZ Plus Learning Center, to talk about the topic, developing learning packets and designing methods to ensure students' feedback and evaluation.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. So thank you for watching, and I hope that you will stay with us throughout the 1 hour webinar session. But let me remind you that you have to finish or stay throughout the session for you to answer the assessment. And then afterwards, you will receive your e-certificate of participation. And also be reminded that if you'll be able to finish or complete the 4 series of this webinar, and then you'll be able to get your e-certificate of completion. Actually, I just received this invitation 2 days ago, and I can't say no, since the 21st Century Teachers, it is an organization wherein it has a very good advocacy to help the teachers to adopt in this new normal. So my topic for this session is developing learning packets and designing methods to ensure student feedback and evaluation. So let me start my presentation with the concept of learning. You know, according to Alvin Toffler, one of the 21st century skills is that if you know how to learn, unlearn, and relearn. As the saying goes, we learn, then the world changes. We need to unlearn what is holding us back, and we need to relearn what will help us move forward toward success. And you know what? This is very timely and appropriate in this time. We are in this new normal based education where everything is new. We are, we are starting from scratch, and we are here right now. We are watching this seminar or this webinar for us to be equipped, for us to be ready in the preparation for this incoming school year. So our objectives for this webinar session are the following. So at the end of this webinar, the participants or you, my fellow educators, will be able to first describe the current educational system in the time of pandemic. Second, recognize learning packets as one of the offline learning delivery modes. Third, determine the elements of learning packet. And of course, I want to show you a sample of learning packets. And you know what? That sample of learning packets is I got from a very good friend of mine who is also a teacher in Quezon National High School, Sir Jeff Parentala. So let me start with this box of chocolates. You know, according to the movie of Forrest Gump, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. Life is a gift. Life is full of surprises. You do not know what will happen the next day or in the future. However, we have to move forward. We need to move on. And as we are facing this kind of crisis, we have to move forward. So look at this picture. Imagine this is the setup of the classroom right now. The only thing that being left in the classroom is the chairs, tables, blackboards. And where are the teachers? Where are the students? Who could have thought that it could happen? You know what? In just one glimpse of an eye, hindi natin inakala na magiging ganito tayo ngayon. We are in this new normal-based education wherein we are implementing the distance learning. Why? Because education is an essential activity. Kahit alam natin that one of the critically affected sectors is the education, but we need to continue. I really admire those teachers who are, equipping themselves to be ready for this incoming school year. Sabi ko nga, what we learned when we were in college is totally different from what we are facing right now. What we've learned when we were in college, like for example, we learned how to have a teaching demo in front of the students. We learned different strategies, different teaching styles. But in this kind of new normal-based education, everything is new. So I hope that you will stay with me and you will learn not everything, but at least something from this webinar session. So according to our DepEd Secretary, Briones, we are one with the President in saying that the health of our learners is non-negotiable and no face-to-face classes will be conducted until the safety of all is assured. So when is that? So according to our DOH Secretary, Francisco Duque III, we can't risk children going back until there is a vaccine. So what do we need is a vaccine for us to, little by little, go back to the normal that we used to, okay? So that is why we have this kind of remote learning or distance learning. So what it is? So remote learning happens when the learner and the instructor are separated by time and distance. So meaning to say, there will be no typical setup wherein there is an interaction between the teachers and students. Because this time, the students and the teachers are working from their homes. However, we have to make sure, or we have to ensure that we provide an opportunity for the students and teachers to remain connected and engaged with one another. Parang long distance relationship lang, di ba? Magkalayo, but still, you have to make your partner feel connected with one another. Tama? So, just like here, kailangan maiparamdam natin sa mga students natin that even if we are in a distance learning, ramdam nila yung instructional support na may ibigay natin. What if we lost the connection? What if we lost the communication? What would happen? Automatically, it will fail. Hindi magiging matagumpay. It would not be successful. So napakahalaga na we make them feel connected throughout in this new normal-based education. We have all the means. Napakadaming paraan ang pwede natin gawin para maipakita o maibigay natin yung instructional support na kailangan ng students natin for us to deliver effective education and for us to deliver effective instructions to our students, despite the challenges that we have facing right now. So this is our top priority, actually, the health and safety of everybody. We do not want to compromise the health and safety of the students, of the teachers, of the community. Kaya nga ito tayo ngayon eh. We are choosing or selecting appropriate alternative delivery modes to our students. So here we are. One of the approach that we can use in this distance learning is the learning packet. Actually, learning packet can be in two forms, digital or in printed format. So for example, if your school has learning management system, and then you can upload your learning packet in that system, and it can be worked on online. But what if your students do not have internet connection? They do not have strong internet connection. They do not have resources just like laptop, smartphones, computers. So we have the learning packet in printed format. So later, I will discuss to you what are those elements inside the learning packet. So learning modules are called various names such as molecule of learning packets, unipacks, teach kits, and ed kits. So think of an envelope. Anyway, lahat naman tayo is imaginative, right? So think of an envelope. That envelope is the learning packet. And inside that envelope is the learning module. So learning module is the essential part of the learning packet. It should consist of objectives, of course. We should know what should our students should learn at the end of the session or at the end of the learning packets. And then, of course, we should provide a sequence, not just only a sequence, but make sure that it has a logical sequence of learning activities, and then a provision of evaluations. But please take note, according to this study, online learning cannot be seen as the only solution for remote, rural, and resource-poor communities. That is why we should ensure that we have an available learning packets in printed format. So we will be able to cater our students whatever available resources that they have at home. So learning packet, it gives an opportunity to the students to work independently from his or her teacher. Of course, because at this moment, we know that we are in this new normal-based education. We're implementing the distance learning. Wala ang presence ni teacher. So this time, kailangan independently makapag-aral ang student by providing this complete package of learning packet. And please take note, everyone, that a very good packet has a variety of multi-sensory activities. So when we say multi-sensory activities, make sure that your students will use different senses, just like, for example, visual, auditory, kinesthetic, or tactile. So please ensure also that in your learning packet, your objectives are performance objectives. So what are those frequently asked questions about learning packet? First one, how long does a student work somewhat independently from his teacher? So ideally and normally, it is about 3 to 6 weeks. If it prolongs or if it extends, make sure that you as teacher, you still provide, appropriate feedback and evaluation to your students. Kasi po, napakahalaga na nalalaman natin along the way if our students are learned from the learning packet. Second, does every student work from the same packet? Yes, absolutely. They should have the same packet. However, as a teacher, since tayo naman ay talagang very creative, we know our students very well. Kilala natin sila. We know their learning styles, their learning needs. So we can develop and provide them a differentiated activities wherein we can measure their several abilities. Kasi kailangan mag-geared out din natin yung proficiency ng bata in different levels. So dapat na i-consider din natin yung level of difficulty. Consider their grade levels, consider their learning needs, their learning styles. Okay. Third, how do you know his proficiency level? So most learning packets contain a self-assessment test to find out exactly where the student is with respect to a particular skill. So kailangan at the end of the learning packet, you have the self-check test. And one value that we have to inculcate to our students is that honesty. Kailangan ng students maging honest sila sa sarili nila kung nasan na nga ba talaga sila. Saan sila nahihirapan, what are their strengths or weaknesses, ano yung mga natutunan nila from the lesson. And to you, my fellow teachers, you can also give same test to your students upon completion of the packet, just for you to find out precisely what the student did not learn. And in that way, you can give additional instructional support to your students. Kasi napakahalaga niyan. Actually, kung bakit nararamdaman ng magulang natin nowadays na in this new normal-based education, parang pakiramdam nila ang burden kasi nasa kanila eh. Kasi siguro ang iniisip din ng ibang parents natin, upon giving the learning module or the learning packets, sila na ang magtuturo. Though we need their supervision, we need their guidance, we need instructional support from the family members, parents, guardians, or older siblings. But please take note, my dear teachers, hindi pagkabigay ng learning module, parang wala na, we are done. No, hindi ganon. Kailangan, upon giving the learning module, while they are working or studying at home, na-provide pa rin natin yung instructional support natin sa kanila. Tulad nga ng sabi ko kanina, we have a lot of means para maiparamdam natin sa kanila that we are connected with one another. So one tip for that, kung paano, you should, in a part of the school, as for example, as a school head, you can have a consultation with the parents or you can have a survey. Ano po ba yung means na pwede natin gawin para ma-reach out ka namin? Pwede po ba, it could be in a form of regular call, or in a form of Facebook Messenger, kasi alam ko na halos lahat naman tayo, di ba? We have the Facebook. So we can use social media as a medium of communication in staying connected with our students and of course, with the parents. Okay? Are most packets merely questions over reading materials? Always remember, like what I told you a while ago, that a good learning packets combine a variety of multi-sensory activities. So the senses usually employed in multi-sensory learning, just like visual, auditory, kinesthetic, and tactile. Kasi nga, we are more on in performance, no? So kailangan nagagamit ng mga bata yung different senses nila. So we know the theory of pragmatism, that students learn by doing. So maganda kasi na in this way, natututo sila kasi ginagawa nila, ina-apply nila into real life. So one of my philosophies in education is that we are not only preparing our students into higher studies. We are preparing them for the life that is ahead of them. Ano ba yung real life na haharapin nila after their higher studies? At kailangan, yun yung napaghahandaan natin para sa kanila. And we are the good instruments, we teachers. So we have here different suggested activities wherein they can use the multi-sensory senses. So the following, but not limited to, so pwede po kayong magdagdag pa dito. I know naman na very creative tayo. Meron tayong mga kanya-kanyang strengths, may mga kanya-kanya tayong ideas, at alam natin kung ano yung mga activities na appropriate sa learning competencies natin. So we can consider the following, such as games, debates, movies, records, film strips, graphs, puzzle, political cartoons, charts, research topics, picture interpretation or analysis, maps, songs, application techniques, problem-solving strategies, and other such activities. So as you can see, we are testing or honing the higher order thinking skills of our students, and not just only the low. Okay? So is a learning packet just a collection of activities to keep a student busy? Absolutely no. So the learning packet must organize in a logical sequence that could develop a specific concept or skill. So ideally, kailangan from simple to complex. Kailangan din kasi may scaffolding of learning eh. Kasi kailangan mag-build muna natin yung foundation ng bata bago natin sila bigyan ng mga mahihirap na activities. Okay? So what kind of questions should be asked in a learning packet? So questions should attempt to get students to compare, apply, classify, illustrate, contrast, observe, synthesize, relate, evaluate, generalize, criticize, organize, define, summarize, analyze, and solve. And please be reminded to avoid too much questions which emphasize only recall and comprehension skills. Since sabi ko nga kanina, a very good learning packet focuses on performance objectives. So i-avoid natin yung mga recalling, enumeration, something like that. Okay? It sounds as if there are definite objectives with learning packets. Yes, absolutely, because the best learning packets is written with performance objectives. So what is a performance objective? So measurable, it is measurable. So for example, from a list of words, they can identify. When you show them a diagram, they can label. Or if they read a story, they can choose 2 characters and then they can compare and contrast. Okay. So the learner must perform in some way. Absolutely, yes. And please avoid to use immeasurable words such as understand, appreciate, and know. So how to prepare a learning packet? This is the very important thing to consider in preparing a very good learning packet. So first one, you have to begin with an assessment of curriculum needs. So we in DepEd, of course, we have the curriculum guide, right? So we can review the curriculum guide, most especially now that what we have only is the most essential learning competencies, wherein we only get 40% from the original learning competencies. So first thing that you have to do is, review the curriculum guide. That is our Bible, my dearest teachers. If we are aligned with the curriculum guide, asahan nyo na talagang maa-attain natin yung learning objectives natin para sa mga students natin. So first question that you have to take note is that what skills or concepts are desirable for students? Which content areas will be of maximum interest? And how we are going to combine that item number 2 and the item number 3 with in alignment to the school's vision, mission, objectives, or philosophy. Because we have also to incorporate the curriculum, okay? We have to incorporate the vision, mission, philosophy, or objectives of the school to our Philippine curriculum. Okay? And then you, as a teachers, you also have to assess yourselves. Ano ba yung strengths mo? Sabi ko nga, we cannot give what we do not have. Ang hirap ibigay yung mga bagay na hindi mo naman ito strengths eh. 'Di ba? So kailangan, for example, if you are very good in experiment or in some activities, you can use that as a teacher. Tayo nga is very flexible, right? Madami tayong bagay na alam gawin. Kahit saan siguro tayo isa lang, talagang kaya-kaya nating gawin yan. Okay? So, second that we have to consider, learning packet preparation continues with a determination of available resources. You know what? I just want to share with you the first thing that we did in the previous school that I am affiliated with as a school principal. No? So the first thing that we consider is what are those available resources that our students have at home? Kasi in this distance learning, kailangan i-consider natin, meron bang laptop, meron bang devices, meron bang internet ang mga students natin para ma-continue natin yung pagdi-deliver ng education sa kanila. Kasi at this point, hindi na natin totally i-assess kung ano yung available resources that we have in the school. Because in this new normal-based education, we also have to consider what are those available resources that our students have at home. Okay, first one, will there be a support system to type and collate proposed learning packets? So my dearest teachers, look at your school setting, assess your school, tingnan nyo kung meron ba kayong strong support system from your school head, from your colleagues or co-teachers, who will be the one assigned sa writing a learning packet, who will be assigned as the language editor, sino ang magpo-proofread, sino ang mag-check ng content, just to validate the content of the learning packet. Because we have to ensure that what we release or provide to our students is really quality. Kailangan kasi aligned din talaga siya sa curriculum natin. Kasi madami tayong kino-consider. Hindi lamang makagawa tayo ng learning packet or learning module. Okay? So, second, what multisensory materials are available for student use? So, kilala naman natin ang mga students natin. We conducted survey, right? So, I'm sure na alam nyo rin kung ano yung mga available resources na meron sila. And meron din ba silang mga additional resources na meron sa kanilang bahay to study? Sabi din nila, the first thing that the parents should give or provide to their children is the learning space. If in our school, we provide conducive learning environment to our students, so kailangan, while they're studying at home, kailangan meron silang learning space na kung saan is conducive para sa kanila, sa pag-aaral nila. Okay? So, learning packet preparation continues with the definition of expected student outcomes. So once again, we have to go back to our curriculum guide. Ano ba yung mga learning competencies na kailangan natin ma-achieve, okay, upon the completion of the learning packet? So first, you have to consider what are those major skills or concepts to be taught in the learning packet. Third, how will student behavior be changed? So, hindi dapat natin kalimutan yung integration ng values. Okay? We always have to inculcate values to our students. Sabi ko nga, we have 3 domains, right, in education. The cognitive, wherein we develop the knowledge or we develop the mind of our students. Psychomotor, other hands, we have to develop their skills. And of course, the most importantly is their heart, the affective domain. We have to develop the heart of our students. Next, you also have to plan your teaching strategies. So are there a wide variety of learning activities for them? Do you provide an open-ended activity wherein it allows your students to create or explore in areas of their own interest? Magkakaroon din ba sila ng collaboration or socialization with his or her family members or community? So this time kasi, kailangan nating tingnan na hindi na sila magkakaroon ng socialization with their classmates. Kasi nga, we are in distance learning. Lahat tayo is we have to stay at home. So you can tap the family members, their siblings, their parents or guardians, or even the community para magkaroon ng collaboration or socialization. Third, are materials available that appeal to the learning needs of several levels of students? So look at your school settings or look at your school. Meron ba kayong mga available materials? Like, do you have strong internet connection? Do you have printer? Do you have inks? To prepare all the resources to be provided to your students. So kailangan kasi ready tayo. I guess there is no problem in private school kasi talagang very strong ang support system niyan from the admin. However, for the public school, madami akong nare-receive or nakikita na kung saan nagkakaroon sila ng mga a call for donation wherein they are tapping the stakeholders or the communities kung sino yung mga willing to donate kasi kailangan talaga tayong lahat is nagtutulungan. Whether we are in a private school or in a public school, kasi isa lang naman yung goal natin di ba? Motto nga ng DepEd, para sa bawat batang Pilipino. And we teachers, isa ito sa role natin. We should help one another. Nasa public school man tayo or nasa private school man tayo. Kasi kailangan kompleto yung mga resources na gagamitan natin in teaching to address the learning needs of our students in different grade levels. Okay, do packet questions encourage students to apply, analyze, synthesize, and evaluate ideas. So make sure na talagang we can develop the higher order thinking skills of the students. Then at the same time, they can apply or transfer their learning into real life. Next, learning packet preparation continues with the organization of packet materials into a logical sequence. Please take note of logical sequence. Okay? Kailangan nga kasi talaga meron tayong scaffolding of learning. I-develop muna natin yung mga foundational skills na kailangan meron ng bata bago natin sila bigyan ng mga difficult activities. So please take note of this question. Are skills and concepts arranged in a developmental sequence? Can the complete learning packet be divided into content or skill sections? Are the instructions understandable? Siyempre, yung instruction kasi, kailangan conversational. Kailangan we are using the language na yun din yung ginagamit ng bata natin. Just use the basic words na kung saan madali nilang maiintindihan. Why? Kasi we are not in the classroom, right? Kung sa classroom setup nga, if we give instruction to our students, tapos alam mo naman, yung mga makukulit tayong student, and then mag-ask sila, Ma'am, ano nga pong ibig sabihin ng instruction nyo? Ma'am, ano nga po ang gagawin? Diba, hindi natin napipigilan that inside the classroom, talagang yung mga students natin, panay ang tanong nila regarding the instructions. And how about now, in the scenario that we are in a distance learning? Learning packet lang ang hawak ng bata. The instructions is there. So kailangan, please take note, na kailangan na iintindihan nilang mabuti the way you employ, okay? Or the way you construct the instructions in the learning packet. It's a big help for them. Okay? So learning packet preparation continues with refinement of expected student outcomes. Palagi tayong ganito eh. You know, when I was the school principal in a basic education department, ang isa sa mga criteria namin in a classroom observation tool is that we are ensuring na lahat ng ginagawa o ginagamit ni teacher, okay, in a pedagogical, ay talagang aligned sa learning competencies o sa learning objectives. At kailangan at the end, okay, kung ano man yung mga ginamit na learning styles or strategies ni teacher, kailangan mamimit talaga natin yung student outcome natin. So please make sure that in your learning packet, you have written for each section the performance objectives. Kasi yun yung ina-expect natin na maa-attain ng bata at the end of working on the learning packet. Our objectives are then understandable. Our objectives included at the beginning of each section of the packet. So just like in classroom teaching, right? So before we start our lesson, we give or we provide the learning objectives. So same with the learning packet. Make sure that you write at the beginning of each section of every packet, okay, your performance objectives. Please do not forget, okay? At kailangan your objectives are measurable, okay? Next. Learning packet preparation continues with designing methods to ensure student feedback and evaluation. This is the very important thing. Okay? Kailangan continuous yung feedback na maiibigay natin sa kanila. We have to know if throughout, okay, if throughout the learning packet, natututo ba yung student natin? So first one, is there a method of reinforcement of the skills and concepts presented in the learning packet? Kailangan ma-strengthen kasi natin yung learning eh. Hindi lang talaga basta may mailagay tayo sa learning module para may gawin sila during the distance learning. No. Okay? Kailangan merong learning at the end. Dapat merong learning during the process while the students are studying. Okay? Has provision been made for student self-evaluation? Of course, yes. Kailangan meron. Dapat may self-check test. Dapat, at the end of your learning packet, meron ka dong section na kung saan i-assess ni bata or ni students yung sarili niya. And the student should be honest. Kailangan ana siya sa sarili niya. Saan ba ako nahirapan? Saan ako nadalian? Ano ba dito yung part na kailangan ko ng support ni teacher? Alin ba dito yung strengths ko? Alin ba dito yung weakness ko? Okay? Napakahalaga nito. Alright? And then will students have an opportunity to discuss ideas generated by the pocket with teachers and other students? So, aside from this, have your students have an opportunity to discuss ideas with his or her family members? Kasi yun yung kasama nila sa bahay. Kasi napakahalaga na meron ding collaboration o meron ding involvement ang parents, guardians nila, or yung family members nila. Then at the same time, on the side of the teacher, tulad nga ng sabi ko kanina, kailangan we continuously provide instructional support to the students throughout the distance learning. Will there be a method for measuring attitude changes? So make sure also that we have rubrics. Di ba, alam naman natin yon what is rubric. So kailangan, meron din tayong iba't ibang criteria how we're going to grade a certain activity that we provide to our students. Will students have an opportunity to evaluate the usefulness of the learning packet? Don't forget this. Napakahalaga kasi that we also get feedback from our students kasi sila ang gumagamit ng learning packet. So kailangan, you can also provide evaluation tool wherein they can assess or evaluate, teka, very useful ba para sa akin itong learning packet na to? So you can rate it, for example, 5 is the highest, 1 is the lowest, and then siguro you can have a note there, ano yung part na kailangang i-improve. So mahalaga yon. There is always room for improvement. At kailangan lagi nating isipin na what we really want is to provide affordable and quality education to our students. So as we go along during the distance learning, nag-i-improve din tayo as teachers. Nag-i-improve din yung learning packets natin. At they find it useful. Kasi, for example, first impression nila dun sa learning packet, parang ang hirap naman nito. Parang hindi naman ako natutulungan nito sa learning ko. So, ano mangyayari? Baka demotivated sila, okay, to work on the learning packet. So, kailangan tayo as teacher, yes, very challenging on our part. Kaya nga tayo, we are having this kind of webinar or we are attending different trainings kasi gusto natin we are equipped. We are knowledgeable enough. We are ready for this new normal-based education. So in that way, lahat ng natutunan natin, we can incorporate to the learning packet. At nakakatuwa kasi sabi nga ni Dr. Sinmiza, the director of 21st Century Teachers, nasa 23,000 daw ang nag-register in this webinar. So nakaka-overwhelm, right? Pero sabi ko nga, I will do my best to impart my knowledge regarding this learning packet. Okay? So, lastly, of course, you should provide a teaching guide or teaching guide at home. Kasi, syempre, less kasi yung presence si teachers dito di ba? What we only have, makakausap lang natin sila either through Facebook Messenger, either through phone call or text messages. Kailangan meron tayong tangible thing. Okay? Na kung saan pwedeng tingnan ni parents, pwedeng tingnan ni students kung paano nila i-work out yung kanilang learning packet. So do not forget the teaching guide at home. Okay, so have you included suggested follow-up activities? If you think na hindi enough yung mga activities inside the learning packet, of course, you can provide weekly worksheets or additional worksheets for them. So does the guide include a bibliography of all available books and multi-sensory media? You know what ano yung maganda sa learning packet? You can also provide additional resources na kung saan pwede nilang puntahan. For example, if they find it difficult about a certain topic, ano yung mga resources na pwede nilang basahin? For example, okay, read a book in science about work or about force or about energy na kung saan talagang makakadagdag ng kaalaman sa kanila. Okay, o kaya naman, for example, you can have a pre-recorded video or you can download videos. I-burn mo siya sa compact disc, isasama mo siya sa learning packet, and then it is available at hand, okay, sa mga students natin. Then anytime, they can watch the videos inside the CD. So, it can strengthen or reinforce learning on the side of the students. So do teachers need any special training in order to use the learning packet? Yes, absolutely. Kasi kailangan, we are also good in implementation. Aside from implementation, kailangan we are also good in developing learning packet. Sa atin nakasalalay ang learning ng bata. Alright? Challenging, yes. But you know what? Very fulfilling and rewarding on our part if we know that our students learned from us, learned from what we developed. Okay, so here is the elements of learning packet. So once again, I would like to acknowledge my friend, Sir Jap Parentela, who allowed me to use this sample learning packet. So we have the title page, and then second is the introductory message. So in this section, we have to give just a reminder on how to use the module for the learners, of course, and also for the facilitator. So this is the example. Okay. So in this section, you have guidelines or reminders to the students. At the middle, okay, on the part of the teachers who will use the learning packet. And third, to the parents or home teacher. So in this way, guided sila. Bago nila simulan yung learning packet, ito yung kauna-unahan nilang mababasa, the guidelines that you provide to them for the effective learning. Okay? Lesson proper. Review. Connects the current lesson with the previous lesson by going over concepts that were learned previously. So here's the example. Okay, so as you can see, in this first paragraph is about the previous module. And then you are going to connect it, okay, the previous module to your current module. And then afterwards, you can enumerate here your lessons in that module or in that learning packet. Of course, you can also include here the time allotment. For example, for each lesson or activity, this is the time allotment. And then the learning competencies based on the curriculum guide set by the Department of Education. And then last part is the learning objectives. Okay, so across the module, ano pa yung mga ine-expect natin na matututunan ng students natin. Alright? After that, we have the activity, introduces the new lesson through a story, an activity, a poem, song, situation, or an activity. So this is the pre-assessment. So in pre-assessment, of course, we have to measure what is the prior knowledge of our students in that topic. Okay. So afterwards, the discussion of the activity questions that will help the learner discover and understand the concept. So sabi ko nga kanina, questions shall be asked in a logical manner that lead to formative assessment. So here. All right, so you have an introductory statement about your lesson. And then here is the review activity in the previous module. All right. And then here, as part of your activity, so this is your first activity. Oh, tulad nga ng sabi ko kanina, in each section, kailangan meron tayong learning objective. So you can cite here or write here the learning objective. And then, ano yung procedure? And then, of course, you can cite an example. Para, after the example, and then it's about time na sila na yung magsasagot, they are guided. Okay? Alright? So, this is the discovery activity. So, your discovery activity is connected to your current lesson. Mini lesson. Mini lesson is a brief discussion of the lesson. So ito na yung outline or summary of the lesson. So ideally, pwedeng composed of 2 to 4 pages. So it depends on you as a teacher. And it depends on the topic, of course. So here it is, the brief discussion about work. And then, you know what is good in this learning packet? You can also have this kind of scenario for comparison. Okay? So ang maganda kasi dito, even our students can do this at home to experience. Okay? Para ma-differentiate nila, bakit nga ba in this picture, there is no work being done? And why in this picture, why there is work being done? Okay? So there is a performance, no? So magagawa nila. Alright? So mini lesson, this is still the continuation of your brief discussion about the lesson. And look at the pictures or scenarios. Kung mapapansin ninyo, we have here the explanation, right? Ito yung nandun sa discovery activity natin kanina. So, related siya. So, mas matututo yung bata natin kasi andito yung detailed explanation. And they can also compare their answers. So, in that way, meron ding evaluation na mangyayari sa sarili nila. Oops, parang mali yung sagot ko dito, uy, tama yung understanding ko. So, based on the discussion written in this section. Okay? So, those were the given discovery activities in the previous page, right? So, still a continuation of your mini lesson. So, for example, if you have a computation, make sure that you provide the formula. Okay? And then, sample problem, how to compute, of course. And then, yes, it is the enrichment activity na kung saan on the part of the students, they are the one who will answer. Okay? So kung mapapansin ninyo, this is the sample problem. This is the activity problem wherein they can also base this, okay, on the sample problem. So still guided pa rin yung students natin. Alright? Okay, next, generalization. So in this part, this is a question, fill in the blank sentence or paragraph to process what the learner learned from the lesson. And my dear, do not forget the guide questions because here, ito yung magiging guide ng students natin kung ano yung mga isusulat nila dito. For example, what do you think you learned from the lesson? What new idea have you learned from the lesson? What can you do with what you've learned? Okay, so there is a transfer of learning. All right? So do not forget. Kasi once the students submit the learning packet and you read the generalization part, you will know ano ba yung mga natutunan ng student natin throughout the learning packet. Ano yung mga new ideas na nadagdag. Okay? And how they're going to transfer, okay, the new knowledge into the real life. And of course, in this section, you can add trivia, additional learning, okay? So application, ito yung sinasabi ko kanina that there should be a transfer of learning, okay, right? And then after that, we have the post-assessment. If we have the pre-assessment, of course, we should have post-assessment. So it evaluates the learner's level of mastery in achieving the learning objectives. So here, assessment. Okay, and after the post-assessment, of course, you can provide additional activity. And in providing additional activity, it increases the strength of the response and tends to induce repetitions of actions or learning. So asahan nyo na mauulit lang din kung ano yung activity that you provide in the previous, okay, learning packet. So here, you still have sample problem and then on this part, sila naman yung magsosolve. Okay? Alright, activity. And then, you can also have this portion, connecting with others, involvement of parents, family members, or community. So you can have this, of course. For example, the student will share his or her work to his or her parent. And for example, the parent has a comment, or have a question, or the parent can relate his work or present situation into the output of the students. So maganda rin na meron tayo nito. So we maximize, okay, the involvement of our parents in the learning process of the students. Okay, sharing with others. So of course, we should have also learning resources. This is to aid students' learning. So ito yung sinasabi ko kanina na you can enumerate different resources na kung saan pwede nilang tingnan, basahin, or panoorin. Okay? Just to add learning. Okay? So references, so do not forget ano yung mga references na ginamit mo in developing your learning packet. And then this is the evaluation of learning packet. So ito yung sinasabi ko kanina na our students should assess or evaluate the usefulness of the learning packet. Because we should address it also. Okay? And then answer keys. So here is the Teach at Home guide. Anyway, this is just an example, and you can also modify, you can add, or you can eliminate some parts. So it depends on you. But I just want to show you an example of Teach at Home. So at the first column, we have here the date started. So pwedeng i-fill up ni student kailan niya sinimulan yung quarter 1, week 1 na ang topic is work. For example, is August 24, date started. And natapos niya is, for example, after a week. So when is that? August 31? Okay, so make sure that in your Teach at Home guide, you have the date started, you have the duration of lesson, you have the topics, the learning objectives or competencies, your learning resources, the assessment, and date of completion. All right? So you can do this, or you can include this in your learning packet. So this is the last slide for my presentation, and I would like to reiterate the importance of homeschool relationship or parents-teacher relationship. And that is why I have a second webinar session on Tuesday about the role of parents and school in this new normal. Kasi napakalaga that we are stay connected with one another even if we are in distance learning. Even if we are working from home. Even if we are staying at home. Kailangan maramdaman ni parents yung support ng school. And at the same time, it is really good to feel that our parents are very supportive too. So napakahalaga that we know, okay, how to sustain a very good relationship with the parents. We need them para ma-develop natin yung complete well-being ng students natin. And before I end my presentation, I would like to leave this message to you. Learning packet is like a box of chocolates. It is a gift to your students. Make them surprised. Why? Because if they are surprised, you know, they will feel motivated. They will feel interested in your prepared learning packet. Kasi ang sarap sa pakiramdam na for every time you handed the learning packet, andun yung excitement on the part of the students. Na kung saan talagang tatapusin nila all throughout ang learning packet based on your given time frame or timeline. So that's all. I hope that you learned, if not everything, at least something from this presentation. So thank you once again, and I hope that we will see each other again on Tuesday for the next webinar session for the parents and school role in this new normal-based education. Thank you, and God bless everyone. So while you're answering your assessment, I would like to greet my Sariaya Institute family. Hello, my fellow teachers. I miss you all. Really. I really miss you all. And I hope you all the best. I know that you are preparing your learning packet and good luck. I'm always here for you. I miss you all, my SI family.
That ends our topic for this part of the webinar series. Let's give a big round of applause for Dr. Nollen. We would like to remind everyone of the following. A certificate of participation will only be given to those who will stay through the entire session and completely answer the evaluation assessment afterwards. The second certificate, a certificate of completion, will only be given to those who will join us for the entire series. Thank you for participating. We would like to remind everyone